I'm going to give you a project update. We got some go fast goodies for the Chevy Cruze 1.8 turbo project. Let's do it. Welcome back. If you're new to the channel, I'm Matt. Hey, hit that subscribe button. It helps support the channel. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done a project update, and I have some tools and go fast goodies for the Chevy Cruze 1.8 turbo project. As far as the pistons go on this thing, I'm still waiting on those pistons. Man, with COVID, it just really screwed things up. Long story short, the castings, that JE pistons apparently haven't been up to their standards. They go to machine the things and they found casting flaws. So I just talked to my machinist and he is absolutely pissed. I'm trying to be as patient as I can. So hopefully it'll be before Christmas because they have to get some more castings in. And he tore him a new one. I appreciate it, Craig at Craig Cock Racing. But let's dive into some other things we have for the project car to help us go fast.
I want to go fast.
Also, a huge shout out to Dennis Short. A huge shout out to Menace Short. I apologize. Also a huge shout out to Menace Short. I'm gonna leave a card here so you guys can go and check out his channel. He has a 1.4 liter with the huge turbo. Does some grid life stuff. And I'm picking up stuff from him.
He's a major influence on me now.
So go and check him out. All right, here's what we got for the project. Let's go ahead and dive into this first. It's pretty simple. I mean, I've already opened this thing up and what these are, they're not spark plugs. Get it out of the box. There we go. These are 1200 cc, 114 pound injectors, and these will support the power that I'm after. I don't know, I'm gonna try and shoot as high as 500 wheel horsepower, but we shall see. There's really not much else to say about these. We'll see how they run once I have the car up and running. We got the tune dialed in a little bit. I currently have 60 pound injectors, but we'll toss these in and we'll dial these in and I'll show you what it is that I had to really do to make these work once we get there. Thing about those injectors, I did my research. I've plugged in my values and everything. You can see this thing maxes out the flow rate. However, we put a multiplier in there. I've increased my minimum injector pulse width to 2.5, which is what the injector's minimum pulse width is. And you can see here the flow rate of the fuel as we start to max out what the tables will read for the stocked injectors, or just the tables will only allow you to go so high. And down here we're keeping it at 1 because this is a multiplier, and then once we get to the 63 pounds an hour range, I have it scaled up in the appropriate areas, and then eventually we just kind of cap out here. And this will help us really dial that in. Hopefully, if I did my homework correct, this should work. And I had to really do some serious math. Boys and girls, this is where your school will pay off. And I made a Excel spreadsheet, taking my values and then essentially increasing it here where we need the multiplier in order for it to be able to go ahead and toss in some more fuel, because we will be running this off of E85 strictly. I might get a sensor, I don't know. Speaking of getting things dialed in as far as tuning, I actually reached out to ZZP. Turbo Tim got back to me. I appreciate it, guys. I just kind of wanted a little bit of help with the tune. I'm going to tune it for the most part myself and wanted to see if there was something that, you know, I might overlook something as a new tuner, but apparently I guess I might know more about these things at this point than they do, because they've never tuned a 1.8 because the car isn't there at their shop on the dyno. They can't really help that much. This next thing is a really cool item, and it goes back to tuning, and I'll explain a little bit more about why I got this. Pow! By the way, I'll leave a link down to everything that I got here, and essentially what this is a package of gummy bears. And now what I got, so from USP, I really appreciate that, guys. That's actually pretty sweet. Is what's called a watt box, a wide open throttle box. What this guy will do is help the car build boost by cutting the ignition signal. How this works is it wires into the clutch pedal, it wires into the gas pedal, the ignition source. It also has the ability to control nitrous, so that might come in handy here in the future. While we're trying to reach some numbers, can we say tens, maybe high tens? This definitely will be helpful in that, and you can set this thing towards where it will cut your ignition. And essentially, fuel will just go through the exhaust system and ignite. And by doing so, what that does is it allows you to build boost off the line, so that way you have some power getting out of the hole. From my experience, when I had everything set up, it just would not build boost in first whatsoever. So we'll do another video on this when it comes time to actually install it. Got the car running and I'm ready for this setup. Also, it is a no lift shift. In other words, you can just keep your foot on the gas pedal and blip the clutch and change gears. Saving you shift time. So this is a really cool piece. Again, link down in the description as where I got this. And I've gone through HP tuners and there just is no launch control or a way to set up a two-step or an anti-lag. I've gone through all of the spark settings and there's just nothing there. So the only solution really is this MB2, whatever it's called, watt box. And these two items here are probably what I'm most pumped about. I know the other two are actual go fast goodies, but this will help as well. And well, let me show you. What is this? Okay. So if this doesn't tell you what it is that I got, man, and this thing was pretty inexpensive too, and this looks pretty nice. I don't know, it's like a denim wrapped. There goes the tungsten. We got number 7, 6, and 5 cup. So what I ended up getting was a TIG welder. I was just initially going to see if my buddies will help out, but I'd rather learn a skill such as TIG welding and be able to do this stuff on my own without having to rely on anyone, because man, just waiting on people to help isn't an issue, but I just like being able to have control over fabricating my own stuff. And also down the line, you know, if you guys are interested, I might start fabricating stuff, kind of one-off pieces, and maybe get some help with some of the jigs that I end up making to sell some parts to y'all guys. You guys, what? Looks like we got our gas line, some instructions. I'm not sure if this is stainless steel. Hopefully it is. If this is stainless steel, well, I guess it won't come in handy because we're gonna be doing this with gas. We got our ground connection. The cool thing about this welder is it does allow you the option to plug in with either a 220 or 110. Luckily here at the shop, I do have some 210 outlets, so we'll skip this, or we might try it. So that way, if you guys are interested in getting a welder for your project, we'll see how that works out. But here's the star of the show. Oh, something is busted. What was that? Okay, well, all right, it looks like the welder is fine, but you see that? So it comes with this cheap little handheld mask, but not really worried about that. Oh, hey, what do you know? They give you a second glass. Good thinking there, JEGs. I'll show you why I'm not really worried about that being busted. Definitely could pack this a little bit better there, JEGs, I guess. There we go. We have man, I'm gonna have to try this thing out sooner than later to make sure it works, because you know how it is with UPS. They just toss crap around. So this is a 200 amp MIG welder. I'm sure I probably won't be running this thing more than 100, but I'm excited to get this thing all hooked up and going, because I have zero experience with TIG welding and I want to be able to fabricate my own stuff. It is DC, however, we'll be able to do most things on this. You can even do aluminum, but you need some helium in order to use it. So we'll get into that here in a second, but I might have to try this before I get any gas, just to make sure it works. But I know JEGs, they're really good. That's one of the reasons I bought this cheap welder from them rather than something off of eBay, because customer service is somewhat second to none. I mean, if I called and bitched about this, they would probably just send me a whole new unit and have me return that. But this isn't all that important. This is the reason why I really wasn't all that concerned about it, but now I'm kind of concerned. And this was pretty cheap. All right, double box. Yeah, see, I mean, they got some pretty inexpensive tools. I know they're Chinese made, but that's all right. Go China. There we go. So what this is a auto darkening helmet. I've never had one of these. I always used the plastic broken up junk to do my welding, but this auto darkens. It's pretty inexpensive, and you can dial in your settings here. I need to give this a try almost immediately just to make sure all this stuff is working just fine. So the next thing I have to do is I do need to go to Airgas, grab 100% argon, just grab a tank. I have some welding coupons. If you're not familiar with what a welding coupon is, it's essentially a practice piece of metal to dial in your equipment, also to practice on. So I'm gonna practice on that. They are stainless steel, so that way I can just really dial in my technique. By the time I got the motor all built and put in the car, we'll be able to create some pretty awesome stuff. Last but not least, I did end up getting some straight pieces because I do want this to be not necessarily a really long runner type of manifold, but something tells me I'm definitely going to need some straight pieces, so we got that as well. And I'm just stockpiling all the parts I need to rebuild the transmission, the engine. We have all our seals, everything we need in order to make this project happen. Gonna be a complete refresh, rebuild, and I'm ready to get this shit out of the way and into my car, to be honest. With the holidays and work being busy, I didn't really have a whole lot of time, and also cutting off my fingertip, that really just didn't help. So we'll have some more videos coming very soon. I thought about turning this into a 3-part video, but I figured, let me give you guys an update. I know I do a lot of unboxing stuff here, but I'm ready to start installing some of these things. At least what we can do while we don't have the engine in the car. So that way when it comes, we can put it together, and we'll do a whole video series on that, taking you step by step as to my thoughts on what I'm doing, how to go about assembling an engine, and it's going to be a great time. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Also, be sure to check out Menace Shorts videos. Lots of awesome videos. I'm actually have a part on order because of Dennis. Because of Menace, aka Dennis. Sorry, hopefully I'm not giving any secrets away. But spoiler alert, it's a fuel pump. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out with you. Peace out.